Your smoke detector doesn't have a battery compartment. You find this out on a Tuesday. The detector has been beeping for 3 days. You climb on a chair. You open the back panel. There is no battery. There is a lens, small, professional, pointed directly at the kitchen table where you eat every meal, where you sat this morning, where you are going to sit tonight. You climb down from the chair. You call Marcus. Marcus arrives in 11 minutes. Green shirt, same skeptical face he always has. He gets on the chair without being asked. He looks at the lens. He gets back down. He sits at your kitchen table and puts both hands flat on the surface. He doesn't say anything, but he doesn't look surprised either. Not in the way you'd expect. He looks like a man running calculations. You say, "You knew." He says, "I didn't know." You say, "Marcus." He says, "I genuinely did not know, but I think I have one too." He does. You find it in 19 minutes. Same smoke detector, same panel, same lens. His is pointed at his couch. The couch where Marcus has watched every game for 4 years, eaten every takeout meal, had every conversation he thought was private. He stands on his own chair in his own kitchen and stares at it. His expression is not fear, it's something quieter. The face of a person whose entire memory is being reprocessed. He gets down. He sits on the floor instead of a chair. He says, "How long?" You don't have an answer. Your brain goes to the beginning, and the beginning is a smoke detector in a bedroom you grew up in a house that isn't yours anymore, and the number your brain produces is your entire life, and it won't stop producing it. You spend the next 90 minutes looking. Every room, every fixture, every object that could contain a lens. You find 6 in your apartment, 4 in Marcus's, 1 in the hallway between your floors disguised as a sprinkler head, 1 in the elevator you have ridden approximately 4,000 times while assuming the camera in the corner was for security. It was for security. Just not yours. You don't find a control room. Therefore, you go looking for one, but you don't find a production schedule or a director or a person with a headset either. You find 11 cameras pointing at 2 lives and no visible explanation for where the footage goes. Marcus says, "So we leave." You say, "And go where?" He says, "Outside. The street. Somewhere without cameras." You don't say what you're thinking, which is that the street has cameras, that the city has cameras, that every place you have ever considered private has a device in it. You now cannot look at the same way. You don't say this because Marcus, having a direction, is better than both of you sitting on floors knowing what you know with nowhere to put it. Therefore, you go to the basement. The door at the end of the basement corridor has been there your entire time in this building. Green exit sign above it. You have walked past it several hundred times. You assumed it led to an alley or a utility space or a fire escape. You never tried it because you never needed to. Marcus pushes it open. You walk through together. You are in your lobby. Not an alley, not outside. Your lobby. Same mailboxes. Same flickering light above the elevator. Same worn patch of floor in front of the door you've been using for years. Marcus turns around. The door you just walked through is the one beside the mailboxes you always assumed led to a utility closet. He pushes it again. Basement corridor. He walks through. Lobby. He does it 4 times with increasing urgency and decreasing hope. Each time, the same result. He stops pushing. He stands in the lobby. He looks at the mailboxes. He looks at you. You both look at the smoke detector above the mailboxes. There is a lens in it. Of course there is. Marcus says, "That's not architecturally possible." You say, "I know," he says. The basement can't be on the other side of that door from both directions simultaneously. You say, "I know." He looks at the door, then at the detector, then at you. He says, "So it's not just cameras." You go back upstairs, both of you. You sit at your kitchen table. The same kitchen table where the lens has been watching you for however long the lens has been there. Marcus puts his notebook on the table, out of habit. He opens it. He picks up his pen. He doesn't write anything. He just holds the pen, above a blank page, because writing things down is what Marcus does when he needs to process something, and he is trying very hard to process this. You look at the smoke detector. The smoke detector looks back. Marcus says, "Does it change anything?" Actually change anything?
You think about this for a long time. You think about the door that returns you to the lobby. You think about the 11 cameras. You think about the fact that the footage goes somewhere and you cannot find where. You think about the specific geometry of a basement that exists on both sides of the same door simultaneously. You think about every conversation you have had at this table and how you thought those conversations belonged to you. But then you think about something else.
You think about the pizza you ordered last Thursday. The specific argument you had with Marcus about whether pineapple belongs on anything. The way he laughed so hard at his own joke that he knocked his drink over and spent 5 minutes pretending it didn't happen. The way that felt. The way it actually felt. You say, "I don't think it changes what happened." Marcus looks at you. You say, "Whatever this is, it was still real. The parts we were in, those were still real." He looks at the table, then at the smoke detector, then back at you. He nods once, the nod of someone who needed to hear that said out loud. He closes the notebook. You order pizza. Too large. You pay with the $23 that has been sitting in your checking account since before any of this. It covers one and most of the second. Marcus tips $2 on his card. Some things don't change when you find out your life is being filmed. The important ones don't anyway. The smoke detector watches you eat it. You already know it's there now, and that's the only thing that actually changed.
Subscribe. Drop a comment below. Knowing what you know, would you have kept looking for the exit? Or would you have ordered the pizza? Because your answer says more about you than you think. See you in the next one.